There are different reasons why we feel insecure when we are in a leadership or management position. Some people are new in the role, like you are a new leader, or some people have a technical background. They used to be an engineer, or they used to be like an introvert or an engineer. So now they transition to a more people-facing position, and they don't know what to do because they have worked as an engineer, as a one-person small team person for so many years, or maybe they have not had enough chance to learn about leadership skills. So I think that based on my own experience and from my own personal story, as well as talking to many, like hundreds of people, talking to a lot of introverted engineers and managers, a lot of people think that they need to meet this ideal expectation of a leadership. Like John had mentioned just now, being aggressive, being very extroverted, being good with public speaking, command and presence, being competitive. I think that is not entirely wrong. That society tend to see that as a good leadership potential. But even for myself, I didn't fully embrace this or like think that this is the main reason why I become confident, because I am an introvert. I think that the most authentic people, the most confident people that I have met, they know how to find and embrace their natural, most authentic style. Maybe being introverted, being good at public speaking is just improving on your weakness. But what is your natural style? That is where psychology comes in, personality psychology comes in, to expand your knowledge about what is natural quality of people. So expanding your knowledge about leadership and quality and about people in general using psychology is one way. Second, psychology can help you to question your expectation, question your limiting belief, and to truly embrace who you are. And the key goal, the key issue here that I believe is the most important in authentic leadership is an authentic identity, an unshakable identity. Who you are, what is your strengths and weaknesses, what is your purpose in life. Work embrace your true strengths and maybe slowly work on your weaknesses. As you explore with psychology and reflection, you embrace your identity, your new identity, and then you expand on your identity with conscious choices to work on your weaknesses. I call this the 3E framework. And the most important aspect that support this 3E framework is, I call it type psychology or personality psychology. You may have heard of that in those very popular personality tests like MBTI or the Enneagram. Have you heard of that? 16 personality. Why I promote the idea of building your identity using objective people reading. There are many different systems out there, but not many of them are scientific or objective. You definitely have heard of horoscopes, or you have heard of biases. People use a lot of biases like gender bias, stereotype, or women are like this, men are like this, certain race, like even like in Singapore, especially in Singapore where I work, there's so many different races. Or like in the United States, people will have stereotype. Okay, Chinese are like this, Filipino are like this. I'm sure you heard of that. And those biases are not only not very nice, and they are also not accurate, not scientific, right? And that is why I try to promote that people shouldn't be relying on this horoscope, on this unscientific method. They are so why is your cognitive profile matters? It's more than just a personality test. It's more than just feeling temporarily validated by taking a test. It's more than just introvert and extroverts. One thing for sure from my experience, definitely the workplace, the culture, the workplace nowadays, they value certain personality type. That is a fact. They workplace value extrovert thinking, which is about logic and data and productivity oriented, and introverted sensing, which is about promoting the idea of have to follow the procedure, have to follow the process, and follow the details, being detail oriented. Do you agree? Does that make sense? That workplace tend to be like this?
So happens so many times.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's very based on your what do you do, what is your role. I mean, if you work in HR or marketing, for example, you might want to use more feeling. But overall, if you can produce results, if you are productive, and if you can follow the procedures, you are valuable. Because this is also the most popular types in our society. The most popular personality in our society are extrovert thinker and introvert sensor. But that doesn't mean we have to completely follow them and lose our authenticity. If you are not aware of psychology like this, you will just blindly follow them and lose yourself, lose your power. So don't be a fish that try to climb the tree. Or don't be, if you are built to be a runner, don't try to be a swimmer like everyone else. You know, you need to know if what is your best, most suited strength and role. Like for example, feeler type are more relationship oriented. And if you are a feeler type, you will feel very unhappy if you have to work in a very logic driven profession like engineering or laws. You will feel trapped. You will underperform in the long term. Don't do that. So how to find your quality profile? I mean, I have mentioned just now about there are many free tests online, but they are not entirely accurate. And it's only give you a very shallow understanding about your profile, give you the 4 letters, introvert, extrovert, thinking, feeling, how many percent. I'm sure if you have done the test before, but it's quite shallow. You can, and it's not accurate. You can hire a certified coach like myself. I am also a certified coach that I can help coach people on finding their MBTI type. But usually those are quite expensive, especially if you get a coach from the US or Europe. I think the best way is still a combination of these methods, and the best way is actually to find your own types using your own understanding of the cognitive function of the theory, and reflect and match it to your story and your strengths to really have that aha moment, that powerful aha moment that okay, this is my type because this is my understanding, and this is my type, and these are my top function, and this is my weakest function, and how should I work on it. So how does that come together? So today I will only cover out of 8 cognitive function, I only cover 4. So when you combine introvert, extrovert with thinking and feeling, you have 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 4, they call it 4 judging functions. Introverted feeling, extroverted feeling, introverted thinking, extroverted thinking. Introverted feeling, it's feeling but introverted, orientated inwards. They are more in touch with their inner emotional landscape, hate, love, authenticity, what is true to themselves. Extroverted feeling but outwards. They are more in touch with the vibe and the atmosphere and the emotional fulfillment of other people around them. TI, introverted thinking, is internal logic. But its logic is data, but driven by internal framework, internal decision making, accuracy. Introverted thinking, TE, logic but outward orientated outwards. Outward is about KPI and external achievement. It's about getting better, faster. You know, it's very workplace related. It's very process related. Does that make sense? I think it's slightly advanced and complicated, but I hope you can follow. Yeah. So the question is, what does it mean for you? We all have, according to type psychology or MBTI, we all have 8 cognitive functions. But your cognitive profile is what you use more, what is more natural to you. So out of all these 8 cognitive functions, your top functions, your dominant functions, if you use them, it will feel more authentic. Well, if you use your unnatural functions that doesn't belong to you or not natural to you, it feels very draining. It drains your energy. And also, if you have dominant or strong functions, then the opposite functions will be weak, and that is your blind spots as a leader, as a manager. You have to be careful of these blind spots and work on them. So if your dominant functions follow the society's leadership style, like extrovert thinking, then it's good for you. Society, you are a natural leader, like John mentioned just now. Some people are just natural. But if you are different, like if you are more feeling oriented, the key to authentic leadership, authentic authority is to embrace your function first instead of suppressing it. I think a lot of feeling leader, feeling manager, they suppress their feeling to appear more like what they think is leader, but that is not correct. They shouldn't be acting or faking their confidence. You can be a good leader as an extroverted feeler. You can be a good leader as an introverted feeler. It only depends on the kind of job, the environment, and how you project your strengths. I hope that makes sense. So we have explored. Now we embrace. We embrace who we are. So this exercise here is, what do you think are your top cognitive functions? So I will go back to here. Out of these 4 cognitive functions, what are the top 2? So remember, your dominant functions is what most natural to you. And the use of the opposite, the non-natural function will be training to you. That is the key to authentic leadership. So does these cognitive functions help make better sense of your what you think is your strength and weaknesses? Does that make sense now? That what you think is your strength? But as I mentioned before, any cognitive function, any type can be effective leader with the right environment and the right style. Expand. What does it mean? Usually expand means to improve on your weaker points. You embrace your natural function and you expand on your weaker points. I mean, it's still good to follow popular image of leadership. You know, extroverted, KPI-driven, resource efficient. It's good to at least be able to speak up and be accepted. But so if you learn a bit deeper about type psychology or cognitive psychology, you will learn that there are different ways to improve your cognitive functions. Like John, if you want to improve TE, introvert thinking, which is quite popular. You can take a lot of management or project management courses, leadership courses, or even play computer games. And I'm sure that as a part of the engineering job, you have to do a lot of TE as well. I mean, if you have to. But let's say Christian want to improve on his FE or extroverted feeling, which is about interacting and appealing to people's emotions and motivating people around you. Then you have to improve on extroverted feeling FE. Then you can learn about soft skills, read book about soft skills. Like there are many different books on that, like how to win friends and influence people. Or there's this thing called active listening skills. I think this is a natural strength for FE people that you can learn. Just active listening and absorbing people's feeling and sharing without judging, without logic. But again, remember, don't forget the true cognitive strengths and don't overdo and overcompensate using the opposite. That is not you, and you will feel burned out. Let's say it's Christian, spend too much time doing HR or human resource stuff. Spend too much time doing, thinking about human resource. And listening to people can be very draining. It's not that you are a bad person, do not like listening, but it's not natural to you. Your leadership style is with each of the thinking of TE is to have the strategy, to manage resources, manage people. So remember to embrace your strengths. So a quick wrap up. I think we are at the end of the session now. I hope it has been helpful. But even for myself, I don't work hard to improve as an introvert. I am an INFP. I am an introverted feeler, like similar to John. I am a introverted feeling FI person. Introvert. I don't work hard to improve my public speaking skills. I learn about business management. I learn about finance. But I could have wasted so many years and not feeling like myself if I have worked in a job in finance, for example, as an engineer. If I forget about my true strengths. But that is why you see my story. I studied finance But eventually, I follow my calling in digital marketing, which is more creative. Then now I follow my calling and work in coaching and training, where I can help people, and that is very suitable for my strength, which is introverted feeling. And I can tell that if someone is faking confidence, faking leadership, I can tell that they are insecure deep down if it's not their natural style.